If you had just stopped in there and said, okay, I'll give you the stuff back, he would have handed you a summons, you would have walked away.
Officer-involved shootings, San Leandro, California. How many cop-involved shootings do we get in 1 year? It's not complained about too much when the person involved is confirmed to be a danger to themselves or other people, but what happens when there's a better way, a less dangerous way than shooting? 33-year-old Stephen Taylor is the victim this time, and it appears that he might have benefited from a less trigger-happy cop. The cops received a 911 call about a man at a Walmart store with a bat in his hand and attempting to leave it.
No, he didn't leave the store yet.
What race is he and what does he look like?
He's African American. He's African American. He's kind of skinny.
How old does he look?
5'11". He's about probably late 20 and mid 30.
What color shirt and pants does he have on?
He has on black pants.
Okay.
And black shirt.
What color shirt, sir?
Black shirt. It's a don't smoke t-shirt. It's like a bear on the front of the shirt.
Okay. And has he walked out yet?
No, he's also throwing customers right now. The customers are actually trying to help. I guess he's trying to he's trying the customers to get the customers.
Hold on, sir. Is he trying to actually steal something, or is he in an argument with another customer?
No, he's actually trying to steal something.
Okay. Did he swing the bat at anybody?
No, he just has it in the air right now.
Officers soon arrive on the scene and find Stephen as described. He has a bat in his hand but wasn't doing much else. The cops try to get him to lay the bat down, but he wouldn't. He appears to be advancing on the cop instead of complying with the command he was given. When he was tased, the taser appears to have no effect at all. He keeps advancing and you can hear the officer commanding him to put it down. A shot rings out and Stephen goes to the ground. Watch Stephen moments before he was shot. While he was down and bleeding, the officers make no effort to see how much damage had been done or if he's doing okay. Instead, they cuff him. No law against that. Terre Haute, Indiana. In the early hours of August 2nd, 2022, shoppers at Terre Haute at Walmart were scampered to safety. What was the cause of the disruption? Two men had just walked into the store. One of them had a balaclava covering his face while the other had a gun tucked into his waistband, visible for all to see. First, they paused at the subway aisle. It looks like they were getting a drink, and then they make a beeline for the jewelry counter. There's no sign of aggression as they navigate the store. At the jewelry counter, they appear to be enjoying a sightseeing adventure and not making any moves to take items away. From the moment the two men get into the store to the point where they're having a look-see at the jewelry aisle, they didn't confront, threaten, or harm anybody. They appeared to exist alone without interfering with any shopper or employee. The only instance where they had communication with someone else was at the beginning, and this looked very much like they knew the individual and were having what should be viewed as a friendly conversation. The police responded quickly to frantic calls from shoppers who feared an active shooter incident. The two men were temporarily arrested to defuse the situation and to calm the frayed nerves of other shoppers. You'd expect these two men to be charged to cut, but none of that will be happening because no laws were broken. The police found the gun in the waistband to be a mere pellet gun, while there's no law against wearing a mask in a public place. Seeing as no one was threatened, confronted, or harmed, the public prosecutor's office chose not to press any charges, while the lawmakers may have gone on overdrive seeking to make a law that keeps people from wearing full face masks to enter business environments. The free-for-all. Do it, Michigan. Have you witnessed a free-for-all? Usually physical altercations like this tend to leave very undesirable outcomes, and it gets worse when it occurs in a public place packed with edible and non-edible products like a Walmart. In this Walmart aisle, a group of 5 to 6 people are going at it with each other. One woman in particular whips out pepper spray and unleashes the contents on others, including children. A police officer soon arrives on the scene, tasked with putting an end to the disorderliness. The officer grabs one of the ladies involved, handcuffing her while the ladies yell and try and excuse their behavior.
You do right now. No. They jumped my sister, hurt my sister. No. I didn't grab my sister. Let me grab her. My nephew and my
Back off.
No, get
Back
off
off.
my sister.
No.
Get off my sister.
Back off.
Leave him.
Back off.
They appear to be sisters as you can hear them scream in the video. The first sister is arrested without incident, with only a little yelling and resistance from her sister.
I'ma leave. Alright. No, my sister's pregnant.
When the police attempt to arrest the other sibling, she resists, forcing the officers to apply some force. There's a lot of yelling and hollering as she wrestles with the arresting cop. Her resistance brings the cop to push her to the ground. Seeing that play out, both sisters begin to struggle, causing goods to be scattered and the piece of the store to deteriorate further. The resistance from the sisters is perfectly captured here. They kick, struggle, and do everything else but comply with the cops. One shopper in the store can be seen yelling at the cop who has one of the sisters pinned to the ground, his knees pressed against her leg while she's face down on it. The most painful moment is, possibly, when one of the ladies bites the police officer, who reacts instantly. Everything is chaotic. The tussle, the yelling, and the sheer anger displayed by the women mean that the police don't have the easiest time taking them from the store to their cruiser. They're pushed to the ground one more time before they exit the store. The cops involved were cleared of all wrongdoings, as the police cited their right to defend themselves and to act in situations like this. Nicholas Cruz captured at Walmart, Coral Springs, Florida. Nicholas Cruz is the infamous 19-year-old who opened fire on students at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School on the 14th of February 2018. In that heartbreaking incident, Cruz killed 17 people and injured a further 17. He escaped with the help of the chaos he created, simply blending in with the crowd of students who were fleeing the scene of the carnage. But he didn't get the clean getaway he wanted. He was arrested only an hour later at nearby Coral Springs. Here's the trial video of Nicholas and the man on stand currently testifying as Carlos Regueles, a manager at a Subway. On the day of Nicholas's infamous massacre, Carlos was working at a Subway in the Walmart at Coral Springs. The Walmart's just a short distance away from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School.
To Wednesday, February the 14th, 2018. How long had you worked at that Subway?
Would be 6 or 7 years.
Okay. And did they have a surveillance system? Did they have a surveillance system?
Yes.
When you were working there on Wednesday, February the 14th, 2018?
Yes.
How did the system work?
It would record the cameras by motion, I believe.
Okay. And did you operate the system?
Yeah.
All right. And you were familiar with the system?
Yes, somewhat.
Okay. There would come a time where you viewed what happened on the afternoon of February 14, 2018.
Yes.
Okay. And have you reviewed that video?
Yes.
And does that video truly and accurately depict you and someone that you served at that Subway inside Walmart?
Yes.
Okay. Let me show you State's Exhibit.
Carlos Regueles had served Nicholas Cruz at Subway shortly after the killer opened fire and ran off. Nicholas walks into the Subway and up to the desk where Carlos is on duty in a green shirt and hat. The killer ordered an icy, got it, and walked off like another normal human being on another normal day.
Do you remember what you were serving him?
He wanted an icy mixed. It was a cherry and a blue raspberry.
While Nicholas looked pretty calm ordering an icy, he's a little tense as you can see from his body movement, his unsteady hands and his head which he kept down and hidden away from the security cameras.
What were you just giving him then?
His change.
Receipt?
Yeah.
Nicholas was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole after the jury was deadlocked on a death penalty. The Shoplifter, New Haven, Connecticut. The use of force in arrests has been a huge issue throughout history, but only recently has it been heavily criticized. This incident generated a bit of outrage when it was aired, and now you get to watch and make up your own mind about the shoplifter and his arresting officer. Is that an acceptable level of force, or is it too much force? This cop is watching the surveillance footage until his quick eyes catch suspicious behavior. Security personnel are always on the lookout for any form of suspicious behavior. He moves quickly, leaving the back room and making his way to the floor, but the shoplifter was alert as well. He took to his heels and the officer gives chase, following close.
Come here, dude. He's going all the way towards the front again.
The shoplifter can be heard yelling "I'm sorry" as he runs.
I'm sorry, drop the stop!
The officer finally caught up with him just as he got into his car and slams the door shut.
I'm sorry. Get out of the car! I'm sorry. Get out of the car! I got t-shirts, I only got t-shirts.
The shoplifter continues to say he's sorry and adds that he only stole a t-shirt. In his hand, the officer has his taser gun out, ready to use it if the shoplifter fails to comply. The moment the shoplifter starts rummaging in his waistbands for something, the cop whips out his gun.
Oh, that's down on the ground!
Things get really tense when the shoplifter continues to rummage through his pocket and the officer, fearing he might have a weapon, points his handgun and commands the man to get on the ground.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna leave behind. Get your hands on your pocket! Oh, got t-shirts. Down on the ground!
A t-shirt falls out of the shoplifter's pocket and he goes to the ground. The officer puts the cuffs on him as the man continues to apologize and maintain that he only stole t-shirts.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
A search of the shoplifter was conducted right there in the parking lot and several t-shirts were found on him. It's surprising how the shoplifter continues to apologize for his behavior throughout the proceedings. You can hear him repeatedly say "I f***ed up." Even as he's loaded into the police cruiser, he has the same words on his lips, often accompanied by an apology. He also confessed that the jacket on him was stolen from Walmart as well.
Did you take the jacket too? Yes, that's the jacket. I'm sorry. This is my car.
The cop takes his time to explain what happens next, including booking and processing back at the station.
If you had just stopped in there and said, okay, I'll give you the stuff back, he would have handed you a summons, you would have walked away. Okay? But because of everything else that escalated, because of you trying to escape and the actions that you took, you have to be processed.
I never see him behind you.
Would you please continue listening to me? Please don't be rude to me. I'm not being rude to you. I'm not yelling at you. Okay? When you get down to detention, they're going to take your picture, fingerprint you, and if you don't have any warrants, they're most likely going to give you a summons right on the spot. But you're going to be going to detention whether you want to or not. Okay? It's going to take a couple hours out of your life, but you know what? That's a consequence of your actions. Okay? So that being said, the sooner you put your feet in the vehicle and we process this paperwork, the sooner you'll be on your way.
Can I talk to her, please?
Yeah, we'll definitely allow it.